I give full credit to Sky News Australia for this footage, but what you're about to see is Democrat racism on full display, unfiltered. Right here, we have Representative Mayra Flores, who is a Mexican-American woman who has just won a congressional seat as a Republican, taking that seat away from Democrats who were in power for, more than 50 years in that seat. These are las hijas de Mayra Flores. These are her children. Anyway, look at what ends up happening. Look how Pelosi regards them. Let's watch this.
We wanted our pastor to come into the picture.
You saw that, right? You saw that little shove, right? Let's watch it again in slow motion. Notice she looks at her, leans into it, and then elbows her out of the way on purpose. Now, that is some racism right there. That is absolutely, because you got to understand something. According to Democrats, they act like they're the party that fights racism. Well, let's go back here. Is that what we see? No, we see an old white woman shoving some Mexican kids out of the way because she thinks we're dirty, because she thinks of us as nasty little campesinos. It's no different than, did you guys know that Mexico 100 years ago had a very similar situation to what we find ourselves in, where basically the scientific academic elite ran the country? You had your Dr. Fauci's and Dr. Birx and all your experts who think they know better than you, who were controlling your lives. In the presidency of Porfirio Diaz, these guys were called los científicos. They were basically the scientifics, the ones that thought they were better than you. And who did they treat poorly? Little Mexican, little indigenous looking girls like this, little brown skinned. They would treat them like campesinos, like poor peasants. What you see here is a rich white ice queen looking at some brown children and saying, "Get away from me, you filthy little cucarachas." That is plain racism, pure and simple. What Nancy Pelosi fails to realize is that as an Italian American herself, 100 years ago, her ancestors would have been laying bricks. They would have been called greasers, wops, and guidos, and would have been treated the same way that she is treating these children. So she is perpetuating something that she claims to fight against. Nancy Pelosi is a filthy, disgusting hypocrite.